Nicky knew.
I'm not Paul Lyndon Boatwell.
But this is the Paul and Nicky Show!
Oh, we wharfs today, are we? Oh.
Brought to you, of course, by the magical castle. We are in magical castle grounds today.
Where are we today, actually?
Well, just look behind you. You can see the magical castle in the distance.
Magical castle.
Magical castle.
Wow. Magical.
Not just any castle, Nick. Magical castle. Magical castle.
Sparkle.
Do you know why it's magical, Nick?
Because it is.
It's got magic in it.
Yeah, because it is. It's got magic in it.
So how are you? What have you been up to?
Yeah.
Don't say the ordinary. I want something special.
I know. Well, no, we've been to London, haven't we?
We've been to London.
London. We went to London. Yeah, and I saw Chris Pratt and you had your head down. You didn't see a thing. I was just walking past. You were just walking past casually, and where was that? That was by
A-lister. We saw Chris Pratt. He's for those of you who don't know who Chris Pratt is. He's in Jurassic Park, Jurassic World, Jurassic Kingdom, Dominion. I think he was in London filming that.
And he's what's his name off of Marvel, isn't he?
Star-Lord.
Yeah.
And he's in Parks and Recreation. He's in tons of stuff.
He is, yes.
And Nicky saw him, and I was kind of, for some reason, looking at my shoes at the time, and he walked past. So I ran after him.
Yeah.
And then I caught up to him on the bridge, and then he kind of like startled and turned around, and I felt embarrassed, so I kind of put my head down in shame.
And then we looked at where he was, didn't we? Not that we're stalkers or anything, Chris, just so you know. Not that we're stalkers or weird or anything. But we looked up, and we saw, because it's mainly for Kimmy's benefit, because Kimmy loves you, Mr. Chris Pratt, just so you know. And so we looked it up, and apparently he is filming in London at the moment, doing the latest Jurassic Park, Jurassic World. So so it was kind of like, that must have been him then. So
there we are. We met Chris Pratt. Yes, that's Chris Pratt we've done there. We've done John Cleese as well.
John Cleese is funny because he looks so miserable, but
we visited Buckingham Palace, but we didn't see the Queen. Okay, so we've done that. And we haven't seen Boris yet, have we?
We haven't seen Mr. Boris. That would be cool to see Mr. Boris, yes.
Right.
So there we go. Maybe next time, or maybe next time when you're in Sarah there, maybe you will see Mr. Boris.
Who knows? Maybe
you
we will.
You never know, do you? Yeah.
Great. What are we going over to next?
Freaky facts.
Always sends a shiver down my spine.
Dedicated to Mr. Pete.
Okay, freaky facts. Magical freaky facts from the magical castle.
Okay, yeah, you go first.
Okay, in 1567, so some time ago now, the man said to have had the longest beard in the world died after he tripped over his beard running away from a fire.
Right.
How sad is that?
That is sad. Tripped over his beard.
Tripped over his beard.
Why would you grow your beard?
Running away from a fire.
Well, you'd have to be doing this all the time. You know, like how women do that thing with worth it with the hair? You'd have to be doing that with his beard and he'd thrown it over his shoulder.
Imagine that. I wonder, it doesn't say, but I wonder if he died in the fire because he tripped over and kind of banged his head and knocked himself out.
No.
Or whether he just kind of killed himself by falling over. Tripping over your beard. So the moral of the story is...
Don't grow long beards.
Don't grow long facial hair.
Yeah, because it's not going to do you any favours if something funny happened.
Yeah, use Imac. If you're a lady and you've got long facial hair like Nicky, use Imac on your face and get that off.
I'm fortunate in that respect. Thank you very much. I am fortunate in that area.
Of Nicky's there.
Some women do have that problem, but I would just seriously wax it off if I did, and I don't.
Yeah.
So.
Well, not anymore, you don't. No,
I don't.
Bit of stubble every now and then. But
bit of
sandpaper if I need something.
No, if anyone has that, you've got to get rid of it. You have to get rid of it. Very funny. It's only a little bit spiky. It's not. I think Steve would be seriously freaked out if it was.
Come on in, Whiskers. Let's
go. Okay, did you know Mr. Potato Head was the first toy to be advertised on TV?
No way.
Mr. Potato Head. So that's pretty cool, isn't it?
So how old is that then? That's pretty old, right?
That's all it said. It didn't elaborate and I didn't look into it enough. But that would be quite old, wouldn't it? I don't know when they first started bringing out the black and white TVs and stuff.
Mr. Potato Head.
Mr. Potato Head. So, yeah, it must have been one of people's first toys that they loved playing with. And
kind of on the same theme as like plastic characters, in 1993, San Francisco held a referendum over whether a police officer called Bob Geary was allowed to patrol while carrying a ventriloquist's dummy called Brendan No Smarty.
Right.
And apparently he was allowed to do it.
That is weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
Freaky, like a policeman going around like that.
Can you imagine that? Here, mate, you're necked. Here, you're necked. Come here.
Get in the back seat now. Put your handcuffs on.
How creepy would that be? You wouldn't mess with him, though, would you?
Oh, that would just be freaky, yeah, because you'd be like, what's that
Any
thing going to
police
do
officer
like, when I'm in the
that's
cell?
that far gone,
no,
speaking through a
cell.
ventriloquist dummy, you're going to do exactly what that police officer says.
That's weird, isn't it?
Like
When was that?
unlawful
When was
entry,
that?
wouldn't it? But with a
Oh,
ventriloquist
Unlawful
dummy.
Entry, yeah. That's a brilliant film, though, to be fair. Very
But
good
it'd
film.
been even freakier if Ray Liotta had a dummy.
It would be freakier. Then he has got a freakish face, though, sometimes, isn't he? He did play the part well. He has
He
quite a
did.
freaky...
It is a good film.
I'm sure he wears a lot of makeup as well. That's the only thing I sort of look at him. He always looks like he's got loads of mascara
Eyeliner.
on. He's obviously just got really long lashes or something, but...
Well, some of us are born with them, Nick.
Yeah, but on a man, it's kind of like...
Hey! I got nice long
it's
lashes.
nice. Yeah, but you don't want them too long. That's just your women.
Put some mascara on these babies.
No, don't do that.
I'd pop.
Stick to it as it is. Stick to it as it is. Okay, apparently it took, I don't know if we've shared this, but tell me off if we have. It took the creator of Rubik's Cube, does this sound familiar? Erno Rubik, 1 month to solve the cube after creating it. Does that sound familiar or not? It didn't to me.
I've
don't remember. But I've heard of it.
Rubik Cube facts before, but I'm not sure if we've heard that one.
No. It took him 1 month to solve the cube after creating it. 1 month. As of June 2018, the world record is 4.22 seconds.
Yeah, people are like...
I've never tried it
really
because we've got one. Dad gave me one. And I sort of, it's just matching up 3 of them. You could be there for about half an hour.
I think
So, I don't know how,
I had one and it's all mixed up, and just seeing it there all mixed up was winding me up because I had OCD and
Yeah,
stuff.
because
So I
you-
need that to look. So what I did in the end, and this is a quick way of doing it, guys, peel the stickers off because they are quite sticky and they will re-stick. So peel them off.
Oh, yeah,
And then
that's
stick them back
cheating,
on.
though. There's no sense of
And
achievement.
then you've got
There's
the
no
Rubik
sense of
Cube
achievement.
as it should look, and you just leave it there on your desk and it looks amazing.
Nah, I'd have to solve it properly. Even if it took a month, it wouldn't matter because
Can't do it though, it just takes forever. So
when you
you
when
just
you're
get
bored,
there and there's that
obviously.
one square out and you think, man, I've got to
I know.
rejig everything else
I
just to
know,
get that one
it's a
square.
bit-
And as soon as you do that, you messed it up.
I know.
Now, do you remember before we had that freaky fact where I think it was for like a whole month,
Yeah.
people couldn't stop dancing,
Yes.
It's
you
called
did do
dance
that.
fever.
Yes, you did. Yeah.
and people died from that. They couldn't
Yes,
stop
I think
moving, and
that's
they kind of
right.
like.
Yeah. I
I
remember
guess
you
they
saying
ran
that.
out of energy in the end. They died. Well, there was something similar, and it's called the Epidemic of Laughing, that lasted almost a year. That broke out in Tanzania in 1962, and several thousand people were affected across several villages, and it forced a school to close. It says it wasn't funny though, because other symptoms included crying, fainting, rashes, and pain.
What? Just continually crying,
Just continual,
crying,
primarily,
laughing.
laughing that
Well, yeah.
lasted for a year in
That's just
Tanzania.
weird, though, isn't it? I mean, because if you laugh too much and it goes on for too long, your tummy does hurt, doesn't it? After a while,
Yeah.
you think, "Oh, please stop now. I've had enough now." But even though it's great and it makes you feel great laughing and whatever about something, but after a while, it does feel painful. So I mean, how could you? I mean, how would they sleep then? That's just ridiculous.
Like this.
That's so stupid. I feel sorry for their partners then. They wouldn't have got any rest at all, would they? Listening to them going off on one, unless they were
That
laughing
would
themselves
hurt your
as well.
stomach, wouldn't it? That would. And the weird thing is as well, it's 1962. That's before the Paul and Nicky show was ever
I know.
birthed.
So actually,
So what were they laughing
what
at?
were they laughing at? Exactly. It's like, what's so funny?
Prior to the Paul and Nicky show, there was nothing,
There's
to laugh at
yeah,
anywhere.
It's just boring, isn't it? Like,
So
really?
that doesn't make sense. That's not a balloon.
Like our heads are swelling, like because we're just totally like, oh yeah, we're just so funny.
It is what it
really?
is. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Okay, let's move on. Have you got another freaky fact?
I have
One
quite
more.
a few here. Okay. Okay, let's see if I can pronounce this right. Ketchup originated in China as a boiled down brine or pickled fish and spices called ketchup. Ketchup. Ketchup.
Oh, that's where ketchup comes
Yeah,
from.
ketchup originated as a boiled down brine of pickled fish. So that's going to put you off that now because you don't like fish, do you? And spices called
Boiled
ketchup.
down brine of pickled fish.
Yeah.
Glad it's just tomatoes
weird,
now.
isn't it? You wouldn't think that's strange, no? I wonder
Wow.
I wonder how different that tasted then. Because,
More fishy, I'd imagine.
well, yeah, but I wonder it'd be interesting to see.
Ketchup.
Ketchup.
Wow, so that's where the we
it
just
originated.
used the name ketchup, and I don't even think about where that name came
Well,
from.
no,
but it's
you
Japanese.
wouldn't, would you? But
It's a Japanese sauce.
it was Chinese.
Oh, you say Chinese?
Chinese, yeah. Yeah, get it right.
Chinese. Get it right.
Get it right. Seriously.
Get it right. Who's Prince
Get
Philip
it
married
right,
to again?
Pastor Paul.
Who's Prince Philip
Very
married to
funny.
again?
The Queen. It's Queenie.
Camilla,
It's
what's her name?
Queenie. Oh, stop it.
Camilla Harris? No, it's Camilla Harris.
Just behave. In my head I had trouble. Behave. I'm sure Princess Sarah wasn't very happy with me because I know she loves the royals. But
The Queen, Nicky.
behave.
The
Okay, I was
Queen.
under pressure. Okay,
Under
I had
pressure.
to be really
Bum,
quick.
bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Pressure. Bum, 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 bum. Okay, so we are going over to
The games of insanity.
the Games of Insanity, and this week it is
It's my go.
Nicky's go.
But this is going to be interesting because it's an unusual game because we've covered so many games on this show and it's kind of like
56 episodes.
how many more games can you do that are just sat down games? Because a lot of games you have to run around and do stuff. We can't do that with the camera. So it's kind of like you need sitting down games. So I have some bubbles here because we've always got these things in our house.
Like a bubble set.
If you pick a straw, any straw, pick a straw, any straw.
Right,
Ooh, magic.
I'm gonna
straw.
pick that
That
one.
one. And so what you have to do is I'm going to blow the bubbles.
Yeah.
You have to put the straw in your mouth.
Suck them up.
No.
Horrible.
And you have to pop them.
Oh, okay.
But you
Right.
can't use your hands, it's just literally like that.
Yeah, yeah.
You have to pop them.
It's like
And we need, have you got like a minute timer on there?
I have.
That's good. So we need it in a minute, and I have to count how many bubbles you pop
Right.
as you pop them,
Right.
and then whoever can pop the most bubbles in a minute wins.
Awesome.
So, but okay, but unless you think you can count as you pop them at the same time, or if that's too much going on, and you think you could do that. So do you think you could do that
We can do
yourself?
that. We can do that, can't we?
I might just do it as well, just to make sure you don't cheat. But anyway, so I'm going to start blowing the bubbles now. So just make sure that screen's not too close, because I don't want to blow bubbles on it.
I won't mind.
So I'll just do it this way.
3, 2, 1, go.
Go. 1, 2, 3, 4.
6,
1, 2, 3,
7,
4. 4.
7,
That was 4.
8, 9,
No, it's
10,
not. Would you stop it? There was
11.
not that many. Hang on.
11,
I did not see 11.
12, 13, 15, 16,
16, 17.
18, 19, 20.
Hang on.
22, 23,
Extra ones. You're naughty. That was not 21.
25, 26, 27, 28, 39, 32, 33, 34 so far. 38, 39, 40, 41, 44,
Time.
44.
Time.
Cool.
Time.
I like that. That's a good game.
That's cool. Do we trust him? Did he really get that many bubbles? He seemed to add some on there at the start there, it seemed. I think we'll just have to take your word for it, won't we?
Oh no. Done. How do I stop this? There we
There
go.
you go, done it. There you go. Right.
Alright, so
that was 44, wasn't it?
That's awesome. I love this
Right.
game. I love bubbles. Okay, 3, 2, 1, go.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ah, look at me up. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 16. Quick. 17, 18, Oh, Beth, you were messing me up. Wasting time. 19,
Stop talking.
21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41. Quick, quick, quick. 43, 44, 45, 46, 47,
Done.
48, 49. Yes! That should have been the pie face challenge. I should have said, I'm doing the pie face challenge. I would have won. Oh!
Cool game though, I
was
enjoyed that.
cool
That was
game.
nice. Got lots of bubble juice everywhere now though, so that's a problem.
Just
But
put them on there because that's dirty ones now.
cool, I like that. So Nicky wins the
Should have been
games
pie face.
of insanity. But we have got the pie face challenge, of course, coming up.
That magical thing with the bubbles.
Very magical with our magical
Worked out
castle.
well, didn't it?
It's a very magical episode today. You want to see a magic trick?
Go on
Check
then.
this out, check it out. It's a fun one. Ooh, magic thumb.
Ooh.
And
Yeah, you got your thumbs back.
Magical
That's good.
thumb.
Yeah, thumbs
okay,
up.
we are going over to
Joke
of the
week.
Joke of the week. Joke of the week. Okay, do you want to go first on Joke of the
Yeah,
week?
go for it. Okay. Knock, knock. Who's there? Isabel. Isabel who? Isabel not working. Not great, that one. I must admit, not great. I'm running out of jokes. Please help me.
Okay. I accidentally handed my wife a glue stick instead of a chapstick. She still isn't talking to me.
Don't get any ideas then,
awesome.
okay? Don't get any ideas. What do sprinters eat before a race?
Sprinters? Don't know.
Nothing. They just fast.
Nice, very nice. I got a new pair of gloves today, but they're both lefts, which on the one hand is great, but on the other hand, it's just not right. Hey, there we are. Just not right.
Okay. Why are elevator jokes so good?
I don't know.
Because they work on so many levels.
Yes! Fantastic. Okay. When my wife found out that I replaced our bed with a trampoline, she hit the roof. Boom!
I think you had it. That's good.
Should have bum bum. Okay.
That's a good. Do you want one more?
Yeah, go on.
Okay. Why is Cinderella bad at soccer?
I don't know.
Because she's always running away from the ball.
Ah, yes, very nice. Okay, one more. Rest in peace, boiled water. You will be missed.
I think yours probably beat mine.
They're okay. I actually found a new site because I keep going to the same old sites and they're like,
it's the same stuff.
and trying to find new sites for this stuff, guys, is
I know,
difficult.
it's hard.
And this is like episode 56.
Do you think you have to then think, have we already shared that? I'm sure we have, yeah.
56. But hopefully we're getting new audiences all the time, so
it's
they
not
won't
getting
remember
boring.
early episodes. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, so shall we move over to our next segment, which is
Holy Ghost Gossip.
Holy Ghost Gossip.
Holy Ghost Gossip. And this week we are discussing the very important topic of...
Are science and God opposed?
Okay, so are science and God opposed? The quick answer is no. No, they're not. Now we're going over to the pie face challenge. No, I'm just joking.
No, you haven't finished. Why are they not opposed? And let us know, please.
What's really interesting is that the Holy Bible, it's not a science book, but when it does talk about science, it always gets it right. And so a classic example of this is for centuries, people believed the universe had always been here. Whereas the Bible said very, very clearly that it had an absolute beginning in space, time and matter. And only 50 or so years ago, they discovered something that we call now the Big Bang, where the universe came into being with space, time and matter. And the Holy Bible gets it exactly right. Another thing is the 6 days of creation that you see in Genesis. Now, when you line those 6 days of creation up with geology, you'll find that the earth started off as a ball of water, just like Genesis says it was, and that the various kind of plants and land mammals came at their specific time, that the cloud covering over the earth evaporated and let through the light of the sun, moon and stars, and the very last animals or creatures on the earth are human beings. That's exactly what the Holy Bible teaches as well. So geology and the book of Genesis are perfectly in sync with each other. And really, the only time that kind of science and the Bible do not line up is when scientific theories are wrong. And when scientific theories are wrong, short time or long, science eventually discovers that actually the Bible was right and their science was wrong. So no, science and God are not opposed to each other.
And there are a lot more top scientists now that are actually recognising that there has to be an intelligent designer, and it has to have come from an intelligent design, because just from their studies and the more they find out, the more they're seeing this, and the more that obviously we find out, we see it lines up biblically, like you said. So they're noticing that more and more, aren't they now?
Some of the top leading scientists in the world are believers in God, especially among cosmologists, people who study the universe and the fine-tuning of the laws of nature, and they can actually look back in time through telescopes and see how the early creation was. And so especially among cosmologists, there are a lot of believers in God. Biology is slightly different, because biology, you're kind of looking at the body as it is today, and so it's highly complex, but you're not looking into the past like cosmologists are, whereas cosmology really does point to the existence of God. So yeah, there's a ton of scientists today who follow God and believe in Jesus.
And like you say, I think because everything's just so finely tuned, and just when you think of just gravity, you just think of the distance of the sun, just everything, how perfectly formed and tuned it is, so that everything works in unison, works how it does, and well, even if it was just a hair's breadth out, everything would just crumble and vanish and just wouldn't be able to exist, would it? Because God's finely tuned it all so perfectly. The chances of that just being able to do it itself, which just couldn't happen, could it? It'd be impossible.
No, and it's very difficult to explain fine-tuning to people. But basically, the forces of nature, like gravity and electromagnetic force, they're so precise that if they varied by even the tiniest fraction of a percent, not only would we not exist, our universe wouldn't exist. And somebody likened it to having a bullseye on the opposite side of the universe, and somebody throwing a dart across the universe and hitting the bullseye on their very first go. That would be the equivalent of the fine-tuning that we are seeing in the universe. It is so exquisitely precise that the only logical explanation is that a mind created the universe to inhabit life and to sustain life.
Yeah, definitely.
And that, of course, would be God. Yeah.
Brilliant, thank you.
Cool, great question.
Answer. Yeah, brilliant.
Now we're going over to...
Oh boy, it's time for the Pie Face Challenge!
The Pie Face Challenge! And this week it's my go, and we're going to be playing a game called Stop!
Oh, right.
What's
that? Something you just set
like
off
a jet
then.
fighter came over the top of us when I said that.
You did that.
That was awesome.
Stop.
So what we're going to say, what's this game called?
Stop!
All right, and it's a really simple game, and we're going to go back to the timer, and basically I am going to put 2 minutes on the timer.
Right.
I'm going to press start, and Nicky has to get as close to 1 minute as possible without looking at it.
Right.
And then it'll be my go. And it's the person who gets closest to the minute by shouting stop, they win.
Yeah, but I don't get it. So what, we just randomly shout stop when it gets...
So I'll press start.
We have to guess a minute.
And when you think a minute has gone by, you shout stop. I will stop it. We'll look how many seconds either over or under you are.
I get it. Okay.
And then it'll be my go then, and then I have to get closer to a minute than you.
Right.
And whoever's closest to the minute wins. Whoever's furthest from the minute gets pied in the face. So are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
3, 2, 1, go. You got 109, so you are very close. That's good. 9 seconds away from 1 minute. Right, so I have to do better than 9 seconds. That's going to be hard to do, but let's give it a go. Let's see what we can do.
Hang on, I'm doing it.
Yeah, but I have to put it back to zeros, right?
It, yeah.
Reset. Done. Okay, so I'll look that way so I can't see on the camera like you were cheating.
I was not.
Okay, so tell me when you press
I'll tell you
start.
when. I'll say 3, 2, 1, go.
Stop.
55.
I won. I won! I said you had 9 seconds.
I know.
So I beat you by 4 seconds.
Oh. I was like, no.
I can't believe I won. I was absolutely convinced you were going to win that because 9 seconds is hard to beat. But if anyone can beat Nicky New, Paul can beat Nicky New. Well, okay, so here we are again, folks.
No.
For
You're not getting next week. You're not getting next week.
Pile of shame of Nicky New.
I had 3 in a row. You're not getting next week. Not
Okay.
Not happening. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Glorious.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
In your face, in your face, in your face. La 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 la.
When I win next week, that is we piled up even higher.
Look at that glorious pie. Look at that. That is beautiful. Only the best for you, Nicky. You know that. So I'm all heart. Only the best for Nicky New.
I should have had that because that was only 9 seconds. So somehow you miraculously.
Okay, so you got to say after me, and you got to say it in Shakespearean language. Okay? You have to say this. I tell the truth. I shall not lie. I want a piece of your yummy pie. Shakespearean.
Happy, amazing. He's so ecstatic right now. It's ridiculous.
Look at the size of this thing.
No.
This is
really?
awesome. Yeah, so don't worry. It's bit of foam. It's just a bit of foam in there. That's all it is.
Yeah, well, you're getting moon foam. A moon foam pie bake
I want
next
to
week.
piece of
You're
your
getting it.
yummy pie. Okay, here we go.
Say that again. I tell the truth.
No, it has to be loud. It has to be very.
I tell the truth. On there.
Tell the truth, I cannot lie.
I cannot
Fine.
lie.
Let's start from the
Come on,
beginning.
then.
Let's go to sound good. Okay, go.
Come on then. I tell the truth. I cannot lie. I really want a piece of that flanny cake pie.
Yummy pie! Don't you dare! See you next week, guys! Bye!
Thank you so much for tuning in to today's show. We hope you liked it. Now, what would be really nice is if you would subscribe to our channel and told all your friends about us, as this would advertise our show for free. And it would be really nice if you could do that for me. The Paul and Nicky Show, the greatest show on earth. Woohoo!